It was cold and rainy today, so making a stew sounded like a good idea. I made a jackfruit stew and I will show you how I made it. You will need jackfruit. I used 2 cans. I used some mushrooms, cornstarch to thicken it, onions, potatoes, vegetable broth, carrots, garlic, tomato paste, and the only seasoning you will need is herb de Provence. So this is all you will need to make this stew. And this is how jackfruit look like. When you tear it apart, it kind of looks like chicken. It doesn't really have any taste, but that's what's great about it, that it takes any taste you give it to, any seasoning. Sometimes I make mock barbecue pulled pork sandwiches, chicken salad. I make mocked tuna salad out of it, so it's really great. And this is the seasoning the only seasoning you will need, herb de Provence. So it's super easy and simple. So I don't use oil, so with about half a cup of vegetable broth, and I cook some onions in it for about 5 minutes. Then I added the remaining veggies, which are carrots, potatoes, some mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, you don't have to add it, but I love mushrooms. Here I'm adding 1 tablespoon of herb de Provence. I always like to cook when I add my seasoning, any dry seasoning. I like to cook it for a minute or so. Now I'm added 1 tablespoon of tomato paste and some garlic, and I cooked it for another minute. You want to cook the garlic a little bit, so. And this is when I made a little change. So as I was making this recipe, I was thinking to myself, wouldn't that be nice to, instead of vegetable broth, to have mushroom broth? It will give it really meaty, earthy, woodsy flavor. So I took 1 cup of dried mushrooms and about 6 cups of water, and I cooked it for about 20 minutes, and I created mushroom broth. So instead of vegetable broth, I added mushroom broth, but you can add vegetable broth, it will be perfectly fine. And I added the jackfruit, and this is how much liquid's in there, so you can have an idea how much to add. And I added a couple bay leaves, and you want to add bay leaves. It will add kind of nice woodsy flavor to the stew, and it will taste like it was cooked for hours. And the total cooking time is 20 minutes, but after 15 minutes I created a cornstarch slurry with 4 tablespoons of cornstarch, a little bit of water, and some vegetable paste. I did not want to open the whole carton of vegetable broth because I didn't use it since I was using the mushroom broth. So just mix it really well till you have a nice and smooth paste, and you will add that to the stew, and it will thicken it right away. It will be nice and thick. So after 15 minutes, add your cornstarch slurry and cook for additional 5 minutes. And that is it. Your stew is ready. It will taste like you cooked it for hours. And the jackfruit tastes like meat, which it's a great plant-based replacement, and it was just really delicious. My family loved it. They asked me to make it again next weekend, so I will make it again because it really is a great dish to make. If you like my channel, if you like this recipe, please subscribe and like, and I hope to see you in my next recipe.